Welcome back to Marius Insights. In today's video, we are going to talk about something different. I had the idea for this video while seated in the pew at church when the pastor was preaching on a passage that is well known. There is a fascinating story or moment in the scripture. After Adam and Eve ate the fruit, we are told they hid themselves. And God came walking in the garden and asked a question to Adam, a question that he already knew the answer to. He asked, "Where are you?" And Adam responded, "I was afraid and I was naked, so I hid." While I was seated in the pew at church, I realized how much that applies to us in our daily life, even in our financial life. So, where are you? Not where you live, not where you work, not where you want to be, not where people think you are. Where are you financially? That is the question that I want us to explore today. Many of us look successful on the outside, but inside, we are struggling. There is a financial struggle, not because we don't earn enough, but because we are hiding from the truth. We are not static beings. We are always moving towards something or away from something. Because we are running towards something or moving away from something, there is an element of fear. Just like Adam, he had fear, and that fear led him to hide. Fear and peace do not coexist. That was a line that was coming over and over in the sermon. Fear and peace do not coexist. What we fear, we try to control. And Adam tried to control his fear by hiding, by protecting himself from nakedness, right? What we try to control end up controlling us. When we fear losing our job controls us. When we fear losing our health, our body controls us. When we fear being exposed financially, money controls us. In the sermon, shame was defined as the silent killer. And it is also true financially. When shame takes over, we don't slow down, we speed up, we either work too much, drink too much, or eat too much. We spend too much time on something that help us to hide from the external world. Not because we are greedy, but because we are trying to bury a feeling. Shame is the silent financial killer. Okay. Now, it does not stop there. It goes further. When we feel shame about our financial state, we sometimes put a veil on. And most of the time, it's a veil of success. Let me ask you an honest question, right? Are you spending too much time showing off something that you are trying to portray? Are you spending money to hide your insecurity? Are you keeping up appearances while drowning in debt? This is what my pastor calls in the sermon the veil of success. And it might translate in different ways, whether good or bad. I remember a couple years ago when I graduated from college, a friend of mine visited me in his new car. And the license plate that he had was the acronym of our major and the honor society from the school that we both attended. I asked, why he puts all his biography on his license plate. He said, I really want the police stopping me to see who I am before he approached me. I really want to project that I am this and I am not a criminal. And granted, this was happening in a context where social unrest and a lot of things were happening in the country at the time. And it was seated in that context. We do the same thing unknowingly or unknowingly, where we try to project something. We try to project that we are this. I want people to value me. But it is when that projection captured us and we become slave to that projection. So when people feel financial pressure, right, like debts, mispayments, shrinking savings, they just don't stop. They accelerate. They spend more. They upgrade their lifestyle. They take on more obligations. They avoid looking at the numbers, not because they are irresponsible, but because acknowledging reality feels painful. So instead of facing it, we covered it, and history is filled with reminders that apprentices lie to us. Okay. So Adam did not just lose money or land or success. He lost shalom or shalom. He lost his peace, his wholeness, his alignment with his God. When shalom is lost, we don't always know why. We just know something inside is wrong. So we covered it layer by layer, purchase by purchase, achievement by achievement. Sometimes working more hours, buying things that signal I am fine, and keeping up with friendship until the mask become heavier and heavier than the truth itself. So here is another point in the sermon that hit home. Because hiding feels safer than honesty, shame says to people in bad financial situations, you should be further along. You messed up. If people knew how broke you are, they had judged you. And shame pushes us toward isolation. We stop asking for help. We stop opening the statements. We stop telling the truth, even to ourselves. The main point here is that covering does not heal. If you feel the need to cover, it means you are human. But hiding longer always costs more, right? So the longer you hide financially, the more expensive honesty becomes later. Interest rates compounds, stress compounds, poor decision compounds. And the paradox is this: the thing we are afraid to face is usually smaller than the damage caused by avoiding it. Death grows faster in the dark. What is the antidote? Why am I doing a video on this topic? Right? To the question, where are you? God did not ask that question to Adam as a condemnation, but it was an invitation. Okay. So healing begins with when you stop hiding from yourself. And the curve is not more income, not another promotion, not a bigger house. And removing the mask, meaning naming your debt. Reclaiming peace over performance, right? And seeing your situation without drama, without denial. Because the further you push the hiding, the further you drift from financial security. So the main point here is that one need to remove the mask. removing the mask of shame, removing the mask of protection, of self-isolation. I will ask again, not as a judge, but as a companion. Where are you? Not where you wish you were, not where people think you are. Where are you really? Freedom does not start with pretending. It starts with the truth. One of the most damaging myths, in my view, is that strong people figure it alone. That is isolation. Seeking help is not failure. It is actually financial maturity. So, again, why am I talking about this topic? I was transformed by the sermon spiritually, and it questioned me in my own personal financial life to ask the question, where am I financially? To do an inventory, to do an audit of my own financial life. The spiritual aspect of this sermon is there as well to reflect on. But I just wanted to bring this insight to my viewers. If you really want to listen to the sermon yourself, feel free to do so because I will link it in the description below. Feel free to watch the sermon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.